narcissistic individuals who can't cope with learning that you are afraid of further.
They stand by a profound insights. You are really tapping into a deeper aspect of yourself, your soul. You're a very deep person, and people are really intrigued to discover who you really are beyond the surface level that they could only see in the past. They also see in you someone very introspective. That this is where you are having all of these insights from. Being so because you keep yourself to yourself. You could be an introvert in some cases. But now they're understanding you're such a deep person, and they see you as seeing very clearly. You see the bigger picture, see the spiritual meaning behind everything with the priest card here. You look to the spiritual meaning. You weren't fooled, or you weren't dragged off of your path too much, because behind everything, behind all of the chaos, deep down, you knew that there was a bigger reason for what was happening, and you were searching out the truth of that bigger meaning and anchoring yourself into that and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I shift this? And people are understanding now, this is all coming from a place of you over a long period of time working on yourself, going inwards, healing your shadow. They see you as very spiritual, okay? They see you as seeing things from a totally different perspective, like that isn't the norm. To see it as very spiritual minds. So this enables you to not buy into your enemy's projection. They were trying to make you feel bad. They were trying to tell you that
I need a victory. I need a big one.
and for the most part, you weren't feeling bad. You weren't buying into stories.
Lord Ganesha,
The enemies were making up about
ruler of obstacles, God of healing, omnipresent Lord.
this is your
Please
powerful
illuminate my
self-esteem.
light with wisdom and
People are inspired by how
Please
you were
guide this doctor to see,
how you
and if so be your will,
this spiritual life.
get me to Michigan today. I don't want to go to a hospital quite yet, or if I do,
For some of you, with the soldier, part of this may have been you needed to be stealthy in a situation. Your enemies, it means down
I don't want to go to the hospital or anything. I do want to see a neurologist when I'm strong enough to do that. I do want to be able to poop.
close to your chest as you were shifting internally. The constancy is like your firm foundation. People are seeing you as very dependable, very faithful.
All-knowing thought, seer of all things, he who graves on stone, God of the moon, great God of reckoning, God of magic, God of wisdom, illuminate the darkness, priest of thought, I bow my head in honor of thought. All-seeing goddess Sishet, female scribe, inventor of writing, she who records everything, goddess of cannabis, the enlightenment of the northern lights engraved in stone, priest to Sishet, I bow my head in honor of Sishet. Praise to you, Ma'at. Blessings and peace, radiant Ma'at. Lady of truth, lady of balance, lady of justice. May evil be scattered with your light. Please keep my heart as light as your feather. Praise to Ma'at. I bow my head in honor of Ma'at. Beloved boss, beloved of the gods. Beloved daughter of Ra. Thank you for your love. Thank you for peace and protection. Praise to you, sister, Signet, heal humanity, and praise to you, powerful soul, Isis, great protectress, beautiful boss, I bow my head, boss, goddess, Isis, divine mother, lady of heaven, queen of the gods, mother of Horus, first elect of Osiris, glorious goddess of magic and light, who was and is and ever shall be, daughter of earth and sky, I bow my head in Isis. O Skylar, Horus, great falcon, holder of moon and sun, protector of humans, teach me the ways of divine law and victory. Priest to the falcon god who watches over us, priest to Horus, thank you, Horus, I bow my head in honor of Horus. Almighty Ra, who created humans with his tears, all-seeing Ra, creator of all above, creator of all below, Alpha and Omega. Falcon, Sun God, thank you for creating all life, thank you for creating me, everlasting Ra, may all honor your creation. Priest to Ra, I bow my head in honor of Ra. Beautiful one, powerful one, Signet, Ra. Praise to Signet, my love to Signet, fierce goddess of war, nurturing goddess of healing, beautiful Signet, lovely lioness, deliver the earth from evil. Mighty Mother Signet, I serve you. Please protect all humans from evil within and without. Signet, you are strength. Signet, give me strength to battle darkness, to conquer my health. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed to have you walk with me. Devour evil, devour sadness. Digest and transmit to love. I bow my head in honor of the beautiful one, Signet. Dark people of the sun, mighty Lucas, hear my voice, hear my praise, undertake me. Guide me safely when my time comes. Walk with me then, all of you. Open the gates to the kingdom. Open the gates to heaven. Open our ways. See my heart. Lay away light as my eyes feathers. Praise Anubis, I bow my head in honor of Anubis. I'm not actually about it. The chief. kill me. You have to pay extra. Cats are gonna help. Couldn't even do me a fan. Some COVID shit. Wisconsin. Now, Dr. Chaudray is supposed to be my primary care, but when I was under United Healthcare before, I got fired from a neurologist for you can sit there and you stay on the bed. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to ask you, are you a doctor and APNP?
I'm a nurse practitioner.
So an APNP? Okay. Are you familiar with what the medulla and pons in the brain does?
Sure.
Okay, what do they do?
Well, specifically, I can't tell you.
The medulla. So the medulla is the part of the brainstem along with pons. Can you tell me what a brainstem does?
Is this some sort of educational class?
No,
You
kind of.
Just get to it. I'm not going to play games.
Neither am I.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, before you stress me out more, the medulla is responsible for breathing, heart rate, everything. I
Okay.
have multiple sclerosis. I've had it for a while.
Okay.
Back in 2020, I had an MRI.
Okay.
I'm just going to read this to you. We got all kinds of medical records laid out. There are regular, well-circumcised areas of high signal on the posterior margin of the inferior pons. The right posterior medulla, patchy area of change from approximately the mid C4 to the C5, C6. Disc space, and questionable altered signal for the T2. Basically, I have aggressive lesions that occur on basically what keeps you alive. So the brainstem, that's what makes your heart go boo-doo-doo, and your poop, well, actually that's kind of in the spinal. Now, these MRIs, they're back-to-back 2020. In 2021, under United Healthcare, I went to 3 different emergency rooms. One of them was Bellin.
Okay.
And I walked in with this MRI, with things underlined, with medulla pons. There's a reason why I quizzed you. It's going to be important. You're going to understand if you're a good chick. I promise you will.
Okay, I just wonder why you're giving me this whole lesson.
It's going to matter.
Okay.
So I walked in with my MRI. I was having central apnea that was visible when I was awake, but also happening when I was asleep. I went in because I was not breathing at night, and I wake up because it was malfunctioning.
Sure.
I also was starting to not be able to swallow. So I also have a medical record right here. I cannot, somewhere in here. There's so many.
Does this have something to do with United Healthcare not approving something, or?
Well, no, I don't think it's you. It's you paid for it, but no, it's not. It's more I need somebody to hear what I've been through and help me, because
Okay.
I'm dying and nobody gives 2 F's and an F, and it's getting worse here. I should have never been taken out of Michigan. That's not United Healthcare's fault. No, this is going to be on Bellin, but this needs to be investigated. But no, it's about even how hard it is for me to have this appointment. You know, that stress exacerbates. Well, I have one in here. My inability to transport in temperatures above 62 degrees.
Okay.
I cannot tolerate temperatures above 62 degrees. I can tolerate 65 for a while, but the heat, it's been untreated for so long that
Do you think they don't know how to treat it?
I know. So when I went to the emergency room this Bellin, this is where it all goes back, and this is where United Healthcare comes in, because you paid for it, so you have access to records and perhaps my justice. And I don't mean like legal justice. I mean somebody needs to be held accountable for trying to kill me and covering it up.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I am not that person that can get into that.
Okay, well, at the very least, you need to at least understand, so when you take my vitals, why they're off,
Okay.
so that I don't get, because last time I had a home doctor through Humana, I went through all this. I told them. They did the vitals. They understood. I got a letter saying that I needed to see a cardiologist. No, it's the brainstem. I've already had heart tests. It might be bad now, so
Oh.
that's why I've been screwed and
Right.
screwed and screwed, and I need somebody to listen. But again, the air conditioning. But when I went in, MRI in hand, again, I was like losing consciousness. They stuck this was during COVID, they stuck a mask over my face, pushed me into a triage room. It was very hot in there, and my heart started doing stuff, and the record proves this. The record
Sure,
even says
sure.
cannot rule out a heart attack, although they altered that and took that little note out, but the numbers are still there. Is it kind of starting to make sense why I'm,
I understand.
So I did that.
I do understand, but I want you to be aware of something. I'm here to give you a wellness exam. That's all I'm here to do.
That's what this is.
This is a wellness thing.
Okay, that's great.
So, and I understand that, and I appreciate the fact that you want to educate me as to why you're doing the things you do, and I understand that. But maybe we can do that as we go along too. Okay?
All right.
I don't want to stress you out. I'm not here for that purpose.
Well, it's not that. I just need to
Okay.
just kind of have a full picture of whatever.
Sure. No, I understand.
So, and since this event at Bellin, I've not gotten the medical help that I need. I did have Dr. Chaudry. She was seeing me remotely when I was in Michigan, and then all of a sudden she couldn't because I was in Michigan because she moved from Marinette, Wisconsin to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I was also under Jean Dill's care. She's an APNP like you, very familiar with my case. And we were doing video visits because I couldn't transport.
Sure.
Jean Dill retired at the same time that Chaudry left. I have not had doctors since when I was under Humana, no doctor. So I'm just trying to give you a background.
Yeah.
That's part of the wellness because I'm not even going to tell you how I feel because I know what that leads to. And I know what Bellin did, trying to cover up and putting in when I complained about it, that I need psychiatric help when I have had a decade worth of brain MRIs, and
Sure.
it's not, I mean, it's the brain, it controls everything, and mine's all the way to the spinal cord. It's aggressive, and just because I can walk doesn't mean I can poop, doesn't mean my organs aren't failing. When I'm showered, you used to be fat, and then I couldn't swallow for 2 months, and I was all on my own after Bellin. That's why. I have a fear of doctors now.
I understand that.
But they bullied me at Bellin when I was dying and pushing the nurse button, regardless of that test has everything. The infection, they did the blood work. They come in and tell me I'm faking it. I'm pushing the button because I was there for about 4 hours.
Nobody
they
should
neglected
ever
me.
tell you you're faking
And
something.
I overheated. I had no choice. I ripped all the things off of me and I left with
Nobody
my
should
mom.
ever tell you you're faking
I know.
something. That's awful.
But it's been happening since then, man.
Yeah, that's not fair to you.
And before this, see, I was involved in Green Bay politics. I've been tossed around all over. Now, because of this, I'm just going to tell you, I spent a long time in Michigan with no doctor, and I did my best. See, I've taken the route of medications. I've tried the disease-modifying treatments. Now, depending on what happens, I am interested in a new one, depending on if it causes PML, because I do have a high JC virus index, so I'm risky for the treatment, and I haven't had an MRI in years. There's probably black holes in my brain and stuff, and then I can't hold my emotions together. But I found the most luck, and this is very controversial in the state, although I stood up for it for the entire state before all this happened. But medical cannabis, I was doing good in Michigan, but I never got a medical card because I couldn't transport. I certainly couldn't transport an hour. You know, you need a special, I don't have to explain this to you, but I think that you understand people that, you probably have people have told you that they, you know, and you probably understand that. That's part of how I ended up here due to an illegal eviction when there was management change where I was at before in Michigan. Before the eviction was complete, I had asked for help. I was taken here. If I would have had help finding it, I'd probably still be back there and not be here dealing with this, but here we are.
Who are you living with here?
It is my friend's mother.
Oh, okay.
It's not been a good
I can't
situation.
get past this till you put your initials in. Do you want to see the HIPAA privacy notices? Nobody wants to see those. Put them in right there.
Okay, what is it? Can you just give me an overlay?
There you go.
I'm allowed to talk about this visit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Your visit.
Okay.
The privacy notices are just who we can share information with. And
Okay.
it's not anybody that you wouldn't understand.
Okay. So that's pretty much that in a nutshell. I mean, after the Bellin, I went to a Bellin in Oconto, and kind of the same thing. They made note that I was pleasant and not anxious, so that's been the whole thing, as I've been painted as kind of a lunatic instead of
I can tell how
somebody
anxious you
has
are.
getting MS to the point that it's terminal, where it's brainstem and heart and some serious stuff.
Do you have a neurologist?
No, I have. Jean Dill was the closest thing I could get. I was trying to get to Ann Arbor to a specialist before, like 2 years ago, I've been through so much, and I couldn't transport. I didn't have a car. I didn't have help. My family wasn't talking to me. My mom was present for this visit. She probably fed some stuff to the doctor that wasn't true. I'm not sure. But again, the records kind of show. I mean, if you'd like to see them, you're probably not super interested in all of this, but
you know what? I understand your frustration. I truly do. And I know how Bellin can work. I used to work for him. I know how hospitals can work.
is it, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility for the record changing?
Probably
Or
not.
tinkering, at least not,
Probably
because they
not.
can't undo the numbers. How about deleted things? I mean, you can't delete an MRI, but you can delete notes and block people's access to get their. So this is where I'm concerned about Bellin, and it's criminal. But
Well,
maybe,
you shouldn't
maybe
have. You shouldn't have anything blocked. You should have
it
access
was.
to
It
all
was.
your
It
medical
was.
records.
It was what it was, and then my neurologist fired me, so I was seeing Dr. Stinko through Bellin remotely until whatever. Then their excuse was it was my fault because I didn't go on the disease-modifying treatment, but that was going to start happening right when COVID hit. And I talked to Stinko, and she said, "Don't go on it because it would weaken the immune system, and COVID was new, so nobody knew whatever."
Okay.
The whole time during that, I was fearless because I've been through so much. Like, if there was second COVID, well, I wouldn't be standing very much, but I have a medical reason not to. I would have, because, and when they did that to me, I was already sensory overload because brain.
Yeah, you're going through a lot. I'm
I
sorry.
just want to be back in my own space where I'm safe and I'm not treated like a pet.
You know, there may be some options for me to, as we go through, I'm gonna look. There's a page that has some options for like some help with navigating things and stuff like that. I know they've got a cancer navigator and they've got other types of navigators, so that might be something that we can help you with, just to help navigate some of this.
Okay.
Because I get you're frustrated. I really do.
Well, now that we've got all that laid out, and you see that I don't really have the accessibility that I should have,
Sure.
and that, well, I didn't show you all the medical records. I'm supposed to first floor,
Mhm.
wheelchair accessible. I'm supposed to have enough space. Well, I had a home, but I mean, central air, 62 degrees. There's a lot of things that I'm supposed to have, and even if they're not being provided, there at the very least needs to be understanding as to why things might go wrong with me and how dangerous
Yeah.
situations.
As far as the wheelchair, you just need to have a physician order that chair, and United Healthcare should be.
I have, well, I
okay
mean,
with-
that, no, because they told me I got that a couple years ago, and it's been left out, like, so here's an example. It was in here, there's no
Mhm.
ramp, I asked for a ramp was denied. I asked her to put it in the garage then, so I could at least take little power strolls. This was in spring when it was still, I could still go outside safely. And she put it there, and it was, I don't know, the next day when I was gonna take a walk, then it was raining, but while it was raining, like, no rhyme or reason to it, and I have a photo of this. She popped open the garage with my wheelchair right there, so the rain, it's been ridden by kids apparently, and that was fun. I'm not exactly sure, but there's just a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. So are you gonna stay here,
Temporarily, she's evicting me.
or okay. Do you know where you're gonna go?
Nope. Well, other than court, other than I've already, tomorrow I can pay for my counterclaim.
Okay.
The eviction, well,
So do you have a doctor, a primary doctor right
No.
now?
Dr. Chaudry, when I landed back in Wisconsin, I thought Dr. Chaudry would see me again remotely like she was, and I could just video in since I'm back in Wisconsin. Now, there was a big delay to get insurance because you're going from Michigan to Wisconsin with Medicare, Medicaid. I don't have to explain that to you. It's like a few months delay, and then to get all with United. So, but I tried to make that appointment as soon as I landed here, as soon as I was at least approved for like regular Badger care, which even that took a few months. I think, or at least a month or two. And at that time when I called, I was told she won't see you unless you see her in person again. So first it was because I was in Michigan, but nothing changed. She was already in Wisconsin and then moved to Green Bay, so I don't know what the disconnect was.
Yeah.
I feel, it may or may not matter, but this came to my attention probably about a month before some of these wars started, but I have a strong Jewish lineage, Portuguese and Spanish Jewish, and I don't know if that matters, but when you're sitting here trying to figure out why people won't help you and why everybody's trying to unalive you by
can't
proxy,
help
it's like,
let it get to your mind,
so I'm
yeah.
gonna bring that up just because we do know that there's, I don't wanna be like one of those people who's like, oh, anti-Semitism, everybody's a victim, but me personally, I've been a victim and I'm just trying to figure out why. If I had to guess, it may be because pharmaceutical companies don't want competition with something that came from God, because of what I stood up for, but maybe that's not it.
Have you seen any specialists over the past year?
Not over the past year, but I did, so early on, Dr. Tietzen, he was a great doctor out of Marinette, Wisconsin. He was the neurologist that diagnosed me, thorough testing and everything. By the time he diagnosed me, I was already clinical definite. So I already had the lesions between time and space, some of them already appearing on the brainstem. My pons and medulla gets repeatedly chewed. Apparently, the nerves taste better there to whatever makes MS eat your own nerves, that apparently
Right.
tastes the best in the brainstem. Like, oh, this is the life-giving, we're gonna eat this away. It's not, I try to keep a sense of humor about
Have you
shit
had any
situations.
surgeries in your lifetime?
Yes, I have.
What have you had done?
I've had a C-section.
Okay.
I've had a full, well, and then after the C-section, there was something else though, but there was a full hysterectomy. So I had like a removal of cysts, or no, well, at one point I had a full hysterectomy, and what do they call like the fallopian tube thing, the umphleology.
With the salpinectomy.
So they took everything, like
Yep.
uterus, that whole, so all those parts are gone now.
What other surgeries?
I think those are the only two,
Okay.
but, you know, my memory's not as good as it used to be consistently.
Yeah. Have you been in the hospital over the past year?
No,
Have
I
you been
will-
to the ER in the past 3 months?
no, I have, again, there's been no medical intervention whatsoever. It's been me on my own for a while.
All right. Other than the MS, any other medical problems? I mean, that's nothing. It's
I wouldn't give a shit if there was, ma'am. My foot hurts sometimes, but that's probably caused by MS, right? Like,
Probably.
I think that, and I don't want to get into, because I don't want to get labeled again with needing psychiatric care,
No, I don't-
above and beyond having a compassionate community of friends, somebody I can hug, not being isolated and
Yep.
trapped, being able to get around, having access to, probably not a bus, because heat, I can only do it, living in, I don't know, Alaska, I don't know, but if I showed you the stuff that I can do with computers still to this day, and the people that I've met in Green Bay, you know who Guy Zimma is, I'm sure if you're from the area.
Sure.
He's a dickwad, but he's also a personal friend of mine, although he's also a
Who is it
dickwad.
again?
Guy Zimma, he was the longest sitting politician. Chris
Oh.
Weary, there was like a lot of politicians.
So what medications are you on?
Cannabis, but I'm not on that right now.
Anything else?
No, how?
Oh, jeez.
I'm a doctor. Who's going to prescribe it? I can't even get antibiotics. I didn't want to show you, but I obtained some antibiotics from Mexico. I didn't go there myself,
That's fine. In your position, I probably would have done the
and I
same.
have some like antifungal, and I don't know if it helped, but I'm almost out of those antibiotics.
Any
For a
allergies?
while, when Chandra I couldn't even go get the blood work once when it was summer, and she wouldn't prescribe antibiotics remotely, so I ordered some fish mocks. It took care of the infection, but it made me kind of sick.
Okay.
You know?
Well, this is actually kind of good because United Healthcare, I think, can help you in a number of different ways. Because you don't have a physician, you need a physician, can't get your meds, you need your meds.
Well, I know what meds I need. I can't get here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Can United Healthcare help with that to get me to? Because I did apply for housing in Pekin, Illinois,
Mhm.
and I'm supposed to have housing in Michigan. I'm supposed to have Section 8 there.
Okay,
I'm supposed to have Section 8 there, and I know that, like, for example, Green Bay, Wisconsin is decriminalized for, for even recreational, but for medical, all I did, like, they know me, I just have to show a record, but then getting that medicine, I don't know how else to describe it,
Yeah. Well, let's just keep going through this, okay, because I think they'll be able to help. Any allergies to any medication?
Well, pretty much any opiate makes me very sick.
Okay.
I've done the pharmaceutical route in the past. Last time I was in Wisconsin, benzos make me, they're addictive and have made me crazy. So, like, pretty much, I would say the only things, I don't know. Allergies would probably just be bee stings, so don't treat me with bees. I also have Copaxone, everybody has a reaction
What
to
do the
that.
benzonates do?
Benzos, they're like things that are supposed to chill you out and relax
Yeah, but
your
what
body.
do they do to you that you have an allergy to?
It's not an allergy, it's like within a week it's like an addiction, and it's like whatever. That was one of the things that I was on initially for MS, benzos, I think Klonopin I was on. I don't trust pharmaceuticals much anymore. So, but like, so good old tried and true to amoxicillin and penicillin, those stuff are good. That stuff is good.
Okay. So I just need allergies.
Okay, sorry.
Did you get a flu shot?
And
This
no,
past
and
year?
I never will.
Okay. Do you get any immunization?
Not anymore. I would, well, so if like a tetanus shot, I would, if I got cut or something, like, if something's been on the market
Are you
for
up to
tetanus.
date on your tetanus? Within the past 10 years?
I don't know. If it's been on the market for like 10 years and it's got good data, then I'm not, I'm not afraid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in a lot of the MS drugs, it's like, we tested somebody for 3 months with a lifelong disease and we saw that there was some improvements.
And you did get one COVID shot, or you didn't
No,
get any?
no,
Okay.
no.
All right. Have you had a colonoscopy in the past year?
No, I was supposed to once upon a time. I probably need one because there's a whole issue of I haven't been able to poop properly for a while. Sometimes when I have diarrhea, it just kind of hangs out of my butt. I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's supposed to happen. And I noticed that something feels like there's like a hole where something's supposed to be if I like press on my butt cheeks. I don't know. I need to see doctors eventually. But again, the temperature restrictions make it hard because what doctor's going to set their room to 62 degrees?
Mammogram?
No, thank you.
Bone density, you don't.
I probably need that because I've been in surgical menopause since I've been in my 30s. I haven't had any bone density check. I would say, some of the teeth.
Have you ever smoked?
Oh yeah, I still do.
How much do you smoke in a day?
Not much anymore. Probably, maybe a half pack, if that.
Okay. How many years do you smoke?
Oh God, since I was 12.
So
I did quit for a while when I was pregnant with my daughter, so, and for a while when I was in college.
Alright, and any alcohol use?
No.
Do you have an advance directive or a living will?
No, but I did at one time when I was through Aurora, but I don't anymore, so probably something I need to do.
Do you use a cane or a
Cane, walker,
walker?
wheelchair, feet, depends on the day. There are times that I probably should use the walker and cane when I don't, and I'm like I don't think,
family history? Mother, father, sisters, brothers, any heart disease, cancers, diabetes, strokes, any?
My father died from diabetes. My mother has diabetes. My mother has heart stuff. She also probably had MS or something like it when I was little. She had she was really sick for a long time. Nobody could figure out why. The ultimate, when finally somebody looked at her, they diagnosed her with chronic mononucleosis. I had mononucleosis at the time too.
Okay.
But I guess where that kind of ties is, I know that right now they're looking at like vaxes for MS, and they're really studying the Epstein-Barr virus. So that's why I bring that up.
Right. Any recent fever, chills, or fatigue?
Yes.
Which?
Oh,
Any problem with headaches?
yes. And not usually, but recently.
What kind of headaches are you getting?
Just, I don't know. Just
Where are they? Sinus, maybe?
No, probably MS, because probably inflammation headaches.
Any problem with your vision?
Yes.
What?
Blurriness, double sometimes.
You wear glasses?
No.
Any ringing in your ears or hearing aids?
Tinnitus. I have suffered tinnitus in the past, and I probably will again. It depends on what's going on with my brain.
Any dentures?
I'm gonna need some, but no, not yet.
Any trouble chewing or swallowing?
Definitely swallowing. Pons.
Any chronic cough, shortness of breath, or sleep apnea?
Sleep apnea and waking apnea. Central apnea, not so. The apnea was diagnosed, but they goofed up because they told me it was because I was fat. Well, now I'm skinny. It's still happening. It's central. It's brain stem.
All right. Any palpitations or funny heartbeats?
Yes, and yes. All the time.
Swelling in your lower legs, your ankles, or your feet?
Yes.
So you get palpitations. Do you get dizzy or lightheaded?
Sometimes I get very. Sometimes I get so sleepy that it just. It's almost like. I don't know how to explain it, but yes, when I feel the pains in the heart, so that's how I know I have to get out of the heat. For example, I said I'm a smoker, and she wants me to go outside, and I did do that during the.
Do you actually get chest pain when you're in the heat?
Yes. That's how I know it's time to go back in. So when I said before the 62 degrees to survive, but I'm okay at 65 for a while, it's not immediately bad. That's more of a over time if I'm in a,
That's fine, I get it. Okay. Any rashes, sores, easy bruising, or poor healing?
Yes.
What? You have a rash?
Well, so I get psoriasis. It hasn't been too bad, but my psoriasis come back a little bit. The slow healing, kind of. I get a lot of cat scratches because my kitten's a maniac. And they don't heal very fast.
Okay. Any heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, or hemorrhoids?
So like probably all of those things, but then I would talk the constipation. It's probably spinal issues messing with my ability to poop. Again, I've had diarrhea where it's just like a string of something, like it wants to come out, but the signal's not sending for it to go out.
And you get heartburn?
I don't know if it's heartburn. It's a warm feeling, but it oftentimes coincides with overheating and that chest pain, or stress sometimes does it too.
Any numbness, dizziness, balance issues, or memory problems?
Yes, all of those.
Balance, dizziness, numbness. Where's your numbness? Feet, hands?
Feet.
Is it a tingling, prickling numbness, or a burning, itching pain, pins and needles?
Just numb.
Just
I don't know how to.
Okay.
It depends. So like right now, it's hard to even.
That's fine. Any urinary problems, urgency, frequency, or incontinence?
Yes.
Is incontinence when you cough or sneeze, or when you don't get to the bathroom quick enough?
Both of those. I usually am able to get to a bathroom quick enough so far, but sometimes if she's in there, then I have to go down the stairs to try to get to the bathroom downstairs, and that's kind of.
Do you get up at night to urinate?
There's not too often, but it does happen sometimes. I would say lately it's more getting up because all of a sudden the signal sends to go have like one little poop and then.
Right. Any back pain, neck pain,
Yes.
joints hurt?
Yes.
Where do you hurt?
All over.
So your neck, back,
Yes.
muscles,
Lower back especially.
Muscles?
Muscles, arms, my whole body. I feel like I'm It's worse in the heat. It's better in here, but even if we sat out there for a minute in the 66 degrees, it would.
So your joints, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers?
Everything. So how can I explain it to you? So have you ever seen the movie The Matrix?
No.
Okay. Trying to explain it in a way that would
Okay,
make
so
sense.
everything hurts.
Everything hurts, but it's kind of like, it's almost like it feels like things being split apart within me. Sometimes I feel like I can feel my blood vibrating.
Any depression, anxiety, or insomnia?
Well, yes, of course.
In the last 2 weeks, have you had a little interest or pleasure in doing things?
Absolutely little interest.
Every day?
Great, yeah. I mean, I
Feeling down, depressed, or hopeless?
yeah, but I come out of it. I make myself come out of it. Eventually,
Trouble. Okay, I just got to go through the questions. Trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or sleeping too much?
Yes,
Every day?
yes,
Feeling tired or having little energy?
yes,
Poor appetite or overeating?
yes. Not so much. Not overeating. The poor appetite lately.
Feeling bad about yourself, that you're a failure, or have let yourself or your family down?
No, not that. I don't feel like a failure. I feel
Right.
like
Trouble concentrating on things such as reading the paper or watching television?
absolutely.
Moving or speaking slowly, or the opposite, being very fidgety or restless?
Yes.
Thoughts that you'd be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way?
No.
So of all the problems checked off the questionnaire, how difficult have these problems made it for you to do your work, take care of things at home, or get along with other people? Not difficult, somewhat difficult, very difficult, or extremely difficult?
Impossible.
So you do pretty much everything for yourself during the day, right?
Yes. I was getting a little bit of help paid if I paid for it, but now the help that I get, I cannot really accept because it would be considered a bribe. I mean, there is kind of a bribe sitting out there right now, but historically, I would have had to have like made an agreement, an arrangement to want to do those things. So it's a complicated situation here.
All right. So your pain on a scale of 0 to 10, how do you rate? Geez, I can't even speak. How do you rate your pain right now?
So, do you have a way to make a note of this? In this particular environment, and remember my pain scale is like that. So I'd say it's like an 8 in here.
Okay.
We step out into the hall, it'd be like a kill me now. Well, the hall wouldn't be so much, but like if it were 80 degrees and then when I go out to smoke, it's like kill me
I
now.
understand. So we're talking about being in the room here.
Okay, in the room,
How
it's,
low at its best?
when I'm not in pain, can I go back to when I was in Michigan and happy and think of
Nope. Right.
so right here,
Here.
in this room, like at this moment or like historically?
At its best. What is it when it's at its best?
What, 7? 2?
Okay, so 0's no pain. 10's the worst pain you can imagine.
Right.
So 7.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, and
well,
at its worst?
at its worst, like 8, 7, 8. You know, in this room, 7, 8. Now, you probably can't make a note of this between me and you. With the medicine I was talking about, that'd be like down to a 5, with a side of life is good. So I got this, and I'm just gonna create. And I'm feeling creative and happy, and if that makes any sense.
Okay. Have you fallen in the last year?
Yes,
Any numbness in your feet?
yes,
Do you feel unsteady on your feet?
sometimes. Yes, most of the time. Well, sometimes.
How tall are you?
5'2". Puny.
How much do you weigh?
I don't know. Probably about 110.
I'll weigh you. Alright. Did you say you've fallen over the past year?
Yes.
I don't know how you can stand this cold. I guess you have to, right?
It's kind of.
So you've never been in the military.
No, but my father was. If you want to hear a short little story, he was actually, he filmed, he was in World War II, he filmed Operation Crossroads, Bikini Atoll, the first big test nuke. My grandmother, Imogene Coriel, was the first civilian employee of the United States Air Force.
So
But they're both dead, so.
over the past year, you've had trouble getting dental care,
Yes,
medicine, health care.
yes. Again, it's 62, like
Yes.
everything almost has to come to me.
Social, community engagement, utilities are good. Do you need vision care? Probably.
Maybe, I don't know what. I just want to stay
In the
alive.
past
really.
2 months, did you eat smaller meals or skip meals because you didn't have enough money for food?
Yes, and then sometimes I've skipped meals because I haven't been able to poop out the thing that I ate from a week ago.
Is transportation a problem for you?
Yes, absolutely. And even when there was, well, there hasn't been transportation since it's been.
You physically and emotionally safe here?
No.
Do you bring in less than $1,500 a month?
Yes. My pile of. Oh. There's one where she worded it. Just brilliant. Here.
Do you need help bathing? Can you do that yourself or do you need help?
When I need help, I don't do it. The shower here, it's very hard for me to get into. My shower chair is in there now, so, and there's kind of a bar, but when I was on my own, because I had a beautiful luxury apartment before all this, not, through housing, but, when it was bad, I would be able to sit I would be able to get in there and use my shower chair and like spray and whatever. When I get really bad though, honestly, I would not, unless I was in my own filth for like months, I wouldn't want somebody rubbing all over my naked
That's
body.
fine.
Just
How do you describe your physical pain over the last year? Mild pain, moderate pain, or severe pain?
severe?
Over the past year, have you had daily problems with your thinking or memory?
Yes.
Over the last 2 weeks, how often you have, oh, you already answered those, never mind.
I also, since I've been here, my handicap placard expired, so not that that matters, but like if a friend were to try to, if I were
Yeah.
to,
Do you have personal, spiritual, or cultural preferences that may affect your healthcare choices?
yes.
Has alcohol or drug use made it difficult for you to work, keep relationships, or meet goals?
No, that's not the issue that's holding me back from stuff. Well, in some, because of the conflicting legalities throughout states, maybe, but. This kind of sums it up when you said how. And if it makes you feel any better, like you might have noticed me take this off, put it back on. I've tinkered with this for a while. Now when the other place I was at, I had central air, and I have another letter that states the need for central air because these kind of air conditioners, it fluctuates too much, right? And then, like you said, that cold breeze, but I have to have the room cool.
I get that. What does your pain feel like? Is it sharp and stabbing? Is it burning? Is it dull and achy, throbbing,
It's
tender?
all of it, all the time. It's like, But, again, we're talking about the here. When, even when I was isolated there, I would find my own happiness. I connected with a
Sure.
couple people on
I
social
get it.
media. I do amazing stuff.
I'm gonna give you 3 words to remember.
Okay.
Sunrise,
Sorry.
banana, and chair.
Chair.
Mm-hmm. Draw me a clock and make it say 11:20.
Can I draw a digital clock?
Nope.
Damn it. Are you sure?
Yep.
So maybe like here, and then so maybe like, and maybe like, I don't know. It was like so it'd be something like that. I think so. Like there's the 11 up here, and then
Yep,
so it's
you're
like
right.
the whatever.
That's good. Let me get your blood pressure.
It's gonna be high, or if it is high again, it's. I just don't want to report saying, oh, you need this and you need statins, and it's. So I just leave my relax it. I had this done one time in the ER. I remember. My ex-husband noticed that I stopped breathing when the cuff had come on, the automatic cuff in the hospital. One of the times the emergency actually helped before the Bellin crack. Marinette was pretty good most of the time. A couple of times they were stupid.
Hey, quit talking for a minute so I
Okay,
can do
so-
this. Like 140 over 70.
Sorry, God. And the shake is, well, some of it might be cold, but it's tremor. I tremor a lot,
Sure.
shake and vibrate.
Alright, I gotta listen to your lungs here for a second.
Sit for it. Do I need to move my check the roll back off? Or?
Big breaths. Just breathe normal. Take a big breath and hold it. Squeeze my hands and don't hurt me. Oh, you can squeeze tighter than that, can you?
How far do you want to
Can I see your feet?
really want to see my feet?
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty cute feet. Hey, I'm glad I just clipped my toenails. There's my feet.
Yeah, if you can get enough.
There.
Alright. Doesn't hurt. Close your eyes. Tell me every time you feel me touch.
Felt that. Felt that. Felt that. Felt that. Okay. Feel that. I think you feel something. Woo! That tickled. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that.
It's gonna feel your pulse. Alright, you have a garbage in here?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me weigh you two.
put my socks back on?
Yeah. Let's see what you weigh. Where's your kitty?
She probably in the other room on her perch. Okay.
112.
Okay, well, it's probably about one. I was probably close because without clothes, it'd probably be 110. And if I was ever able to poop, it'd probably be even less than that. Do you really think United can
Maybe.
help get me to safety and figure some stuff out? And maybe even speak on my behalf because like I don't even know how I'd get a place because of illegal eviction and the judge wouldn't even listen to, the only thing that he looked at, because I didn't file it right, I did it all on my own, but he mentioned that I don't know why you sent me something about being Jewish because I was trying to establish with the synagogue in Ann Arbor where there's an MS specialist, but not anybody in the hearing mentioned MS or talked about it. The prosecuting attorney said I was anxious. They had a neighbor file a report that I was selling drugs, sex, and smoking cannabis in the apartment, but also selling drugs and sex, which I never was. So, and there was no charge or anything, it was just a BS accusation tucked underneath all of it. So, to kind of clear my name medically, I was also exposed to a factory fire. I was remember I told you I was stronger in Michigan for a while. I had a boyfriend that he had taken me, the last MRI I got, he had taken me. Long story short, I was exposed to a factory fire. There was a big fire that happened in Menominee. It burned for 2 weeks right around the time of the train derailment in the Palestine area in Ohio. Same chemicals. I didn't know that at the time, and I don't know if he did, but we could see it. It was like all throughout the city. But we decided to get a closer look after it had been burning for a few days. And so went to kind of ground zero and got super exposed to that smoke.
Oh, goodness.
Probably not good for MS, but things have never been the same since that factory fire. After that factory fire, I don't know what sexy centers are in the brain, but about a couple weeks later, there must have been like a relapse, and I had made a series of just me and them, and they were very well produced, but 3 or 4 adult videos that I was going to try to put on an adult site and make money from. Don't ask me why. MS brain. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Obviously, I have no history of doing anything like that. But that was used against me to try to paint me as something that I'm not. I mean, I did it, so it's very artistic, but again, it was very out of character for me.
Sure.
And it was a result of being exposed to those chemicals and whatever. It's just like, when the brain decides, all right, we're going to eat your hypothalamus to the point that you cannot regulate your body temperature anymore. I don't know if the temporal lobe controls the sexy centers, but I know that the temporal lobe does control the mood. So when you have like patients with brain illness that maybe like yell or cry or like they can't help how they're feeling or how they react, it's probably temporal lobe damage. There's this here. I kind of want to point. I wish I had the rest of this, but during your visit to the ED, a neurologist was not warranted to treat the symptoms you were reporting. This was under United Healthcare's watch. They're trying to say a neurologist wasn't warranted when I went in saying and it's right in my records that they're saying she was talking to angels, but also in the notes that she came in with her MRIs and says, I can feel my central breathing stop. Well, I mean, I don't know if United Healthcare can do anything about that, and people that are responsible making you pay them to hurt people. Does that make sense?
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Well, do you think, so this was in response to a letter I wrote to Bellin complaining about the care that I received, that all this, I just have to show you the ER, but walking in with the brainstem flare up. But a neurologist was not warranted to treat the symptoms I was reporting. Central apnea and inability to breathe and heart failure apparently did not warrant a neurologist, even though there's a diagnosis of MS. And this was something that United Healthcare paid for.
Yeah.
I
can't talk about
Oh, you can't.
what
Okay, you
one
can't.
specific letter, I don't know. I don't know if it's warranted, I don't know if it's not warranted.
So, if somebody has MS and they go to the hospital for I mean, you just saw a letter that says I can't survive under 62 degrees, but a neurologist was not warranted. I'm asking if United Healthcare can look into this for that.
I don't know. All I can do is
okay.
put in my recommendations and
Okay.
put in, your answers to the questions, and they'll figure the rest out.
Okay. Are you directly through United, or are you like a third party, like when Humana
I work
sent
for
Signify?
United Healthcare.
Okay, so it is directly. Okay, because when there was a snafu with Humana, it was a third party, Signify Health. So it wasn't somebody. The last home doctor that had come to me, it wasn't somebody directly through Humana. It was.
Mm. So somebody will call you because you need a doctor, you need certain things, and you can kind of explain things a little bit better to them there.
Okay.
And let me see, where is this page?
And this letter too. This is from Stanko. This was the neurologist that I was seeing before I was fired after this whole Bellin. She fired me as a patient for not following proper treatment, apparently, allegedly, but right here, confirmed diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. And I understand why you can't comment on anything, but I hope you understand why I find that very disappointing.
Yes, I do.
The system is what it is, right? And I'm gonna try to have faith. This one, well, this one's a bit more
What were those 3 words I gave you?
sunshine, banana, it's not clock, because that was the next exercise. I don't know.
Sunrise, banana, and chair.
Gonna read this. Wendy has been under my care for many years and has also seen Dr. Heather Stanko, ND neurologist, in the past as well. She is looking to see an MS specialist for her disease. She has reported clinical and subclinical exacerbations in the past. Imaging has shown lesions in the brain, brainstem, including the pons, medulla, and cervical spine. She desires to move closer to an MS specialist and access to medical transportation and get to her visit. She cannot tolerate temperatures above 62 to 65 degrees because of heat impacting lesions of the pons, medulla, brainstem. Limitations to in-person visits was due to the lack of available medical transport and her inability to transport in temperatures above 65 degrees. And that letter is from Jean Dill and from Aurora, 8/18/2023. A lot of this stuff dates back.
I understand that. I mean, you've got a lot going on, and I get that. But I wouldn't even know how to comment about those things. I'm sorry you're going through it. I have the deepest sympathy for that. I'm going to try to get you some help in the back ways that I have to do that.
Okay.
I mean, other than that, I'm gonna do my best, okay? Alright.
I'd like also make a note, person I'm staying with, the daughter that brought me here and then just kind of left me here, works for the UWGB system, but she has another daughter that codes for United Healthcare.
Just sign right there.
Okay, what am I signing?
It's a sensitive diagnosis consent. It says if you said something about your doctor, which you don't have a doctor, so there's not any kind of question about it. It could potentially be in my notes, but you don't have a doctor listed there, so no doctor is gonna get a copy of my notes. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Let me just. Care physician, care clinician, and consent is voluntary, and I will not be denied benefits if I do not sign this form.
My notes aren't gonna go anywhere other than to United Healthcare, because you don't have a doctor listed.
If I don't sign this, if I refuse it, will it still go to United? Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like it's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of a release form, so it wouldn't go anywhere anyway,
It's not gonna
so
go anywhere anyway,
I'm just gonna,
so,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna refuse
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
consent there. And then, do I need a reason?
I don't think so. Is there a reason in there?
Refuses to sign. There we go.
That's fine. Alright, the only thing that's on here are your vital signs, basically.
Okay.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, I don't know if I did the right thing after I did the thing.
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay, so then you said somebody should be contacting me
Somebody
from
will call you. from
United Healthcare, and they're gonna say, oh my God, we gotta get you a doctor, and they're gonna understand that I can't just go, especially in the summer, I can't.
No, you probably have to explain that to them. They'll get so much, you know, I don't know how they, I don't know like what kind of information they get. My notes are here, but
Okay.
you know, whether they get all that information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, it was nice to meet you. I'm sorry for your troubles, I truly am. But
Yeah.
I'll do the best I can do from the back end and,
Okay,
okay?
great, thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
for your time today.
You take care.
I'll try. Where my phone go now?
Which way am I going?
Let me grab this here real quick. You're going.
Over here.